Hey, so welcome to my new little video I'm going to make. I'm going to make a traditionally styled plane. This is the second plane I'm going to make. The first one I made was Krenov style. That's already up on my channel. That worked okay, but I thought I'd make another jack using a kind of lamination method, which I got from Phil Edwards' site. It's a lamination method similar to the Krenov style, but making a traditional kind of English pattern plane. So what is a English pattern plane? I have, like I just said, that was my second plane, but it's actually going to be my third. This is my second plane. This is a small kind of smoother block plane I made. So this is kind of a traditionally styled plane. So you have a wedge. You can see this has a cutout here to help the shavings escape. Standard wedge, your blade, and the kind of thing that sets this apart from other designs of wooden plane is the wedging kind of mechanism. The Krenov style and a lot of others use a pin across the mouth or the throat, which wedges the blade and holds, kind of wedges the blade into place. The traditional English style has two kind of slanting pieces of wood here. They're called abutments, and they're tapered so that when the wedge goes in, it wedges the blade. So that's the kind of, I guess, the main feature. The front of the throat, you see it's sort of slides in, so it lets you get your fingers in. But also, what you can't see is that it also slides, kind of tilts this way as well, back. This is so that when you need to resurface or resole your plane, when you need to true it up again, obviously the sole will kind of gradually get further and further up. And if your mouth or this front piece here was sloped forward like this, as on the Krenov plane, then obviously your mouth is going to get wider and wider and wider, and that's just going to affect your cut eventually. So the English style ones, they have a kind of back sloping piece, which minimizes the mouth kind of opening up on you. So that's the kind of basic style. This one's made of maple. This is made using one lamination technique. I've found in my limited kind of research 3 ways of making these types of plane. There's a traditional way, which is to carve it out from a solid block of wood. That's pretty kind of high level stuff, so I'm not going to be doing that in my kind of first kind of making adventures. Second way is the lamination method I'll be doing in this video, which is the kind of Krenov style 2 plates and the middle kind of body section. And there's another one I found which uses 2 pieces of wood which are sandwiched together. This one actually uses 3, but basically you have 2 pieces of wood and you cut these while they're still apart, so you can use a saw and chisel and router or whatever. It makes it a lot easier, and then you just glue them up 2 halves together and kind of clean up inside here. I'll probably do a video on that later, but today we'll be doing the Krenov style kind of styly lamination. So what do you need? You need some wood, obviously. Like the Krenov, you need 2 side pieces. These are 1 centimeter thick each across here. Pretty standard kind of wood selection criterion. Like in my Krenov video, these need to be straight grained. The side pieces preferably should be quarter sawn, so that the grain runs vertically here, so that when you orient it like this, it's kind of a flat sawn face on the sole. This is the traditional orientation method of planes. I'll stick to that. I'm not sure if that's the kind of the best way, but that's what the old timers used. And obviously you want to, as I said in my Krenov video, orient your grain so that if that was the front of the plane, you want your grain to be facing or kind of running in this direction if it's not straight. so that when you push it forward, there's less resistance, so you're not kind of digging in with the fibers. So you need 2 of these pieces. For the jack plane, 350, 360 millimeters in length. Height is about 70 millimeters, 75 or so. So you need 2 of those. And you need your center block. Depending on your width of your blade, you need to kind of select your stock. I'm using a 2-inch blade, which correspond to 51 millimeters or so, but you need to add 1-2 millimeters on that to allow for lateral adjustment. So 53 millimeters in width here, but for safety, 54.5, so you can kind of make sure that your blank is actually square. Height again, 70 millimeters, same as your sides. Length also same as your sides, and the grain orientation along is also the same kind of slanting thing I said earlier. And the orientation of grain preferably should be flats on, so that the grain is kind of running this way. This is slightly kind of rift, so it's kind of running on a diagonal. I'm not sure it matters too much, but so there we go. Next thing you need is your blade, obviously. Jack planes traditionally 2 1/8 inch width. 2 inches also acceptable. They're common as well. I've got a fat 6-inch long breeze iron. It's very thick. I think it's about 1/4 of an inch. So it's a pretty solid chunk of steel. If you get a vintage one, they're tapered thick here to a thin end, and that supposedly helps the wedging action and all sorts of other things, but they're laminated. Some people like them, some people like parallel irons. I'm not sure I really care right now, but so this is the blade I'll be using. 6 inches is actually a little short. You ideally want something like 7, 8, but I'll make do with this. Another thing you need is a piece of material for your handle, or the tote. This is 125 millimeters by 125 millimeters by 27 millimeters, so just over an inch thick. Again, straight grained. I'm not sure it's particularly critical that it be straight or whatever, but get a nice piece of wood. And obviously you need a piece for your wedge. This is just some 15 millimeter thick beech I had lying around. So that needs to be as thick as your central section of your plane, and length maybe something like 6, 7 inches, whatever it is, 150, 60. So it gives you an extra piece of length, a bit of length to tune your wedge. So that's all you need. And so the next thing we do is to go to marking. And I've already actually squared up all my stock, so that this is square, square, flat, parallel, perfect.